my thoughts are to mothers, the minute and the sometimes thankless task that you're doing with your children are the ones that are going to echo in their hearts and their minds forever.
Wow.
And I'm sure that there were days where my mom was at the end of her rope and she still sent us to school and said, "You're a leader. You are above and not beneath." And when I think about my hard days, those are the words that I hear. God has given you the gift to rewrite the very mind of a child. You are training them on how to respond to the world who will tell them who they are. Never let the enemy trick you out of the call that Christ has given you.
Let's talk about when we've gone through different storms and different seasons in our family, right? When did you see like resilience modeled? What did resilience look like in our family for you? Because we've had to have resilience to make it to where we are now.
You mean like the entire unit?
Well, just even like not just a unit, but maybe Dad and I modeled resilience so you could see what it looked like, those kind of things. Where did you see resilience modeled? This is like, for me, I would say I saw resilience when Dad started over, failed at a business and started over. For me, that would be like a moment that he modeled resilience to me as a husband, as a man, and as a father, right? Saying, okay, not quite sure, failed here, but, got back up, did some things, rebuilt, did what he had to do. So for me, resilience. Being the one that was working, for me, that was also resilience, right? Going to work as a Black man every day in a culture where it wasn't easy. So that, for us, that's some of the things for me. He impacted me in the family because of some of those resilient moments. How about you? Is there any resilience that comes to mind?
Resilience, like just keeping going with different obstacles.
Yeah.
I'm being goofy, but the first thing I would think, I was like, you doing our hair all the time. Our hair being done was resilience to me.
No, that could be resilience.
We always had our hair done. You did our hair. You did not take us to the salon. Like, you braided our hair. We had extensions. I mean, it was years and years and years and years of you doing our hair. I don't ever recall. I mean, you did our hair so well that when if Diane would do our hair not well, we would be mad because we'd be like, this is not how our hair is supposed to be. And I don't think I started doing my hair until I was like in high school, and that's because I insisted upon it. And I know that seems like a very small thing, but as young Black girls, like,
right.
I mean, my biggest fight with you was just getting me out of them ballies because you were doing my hair. Like, you were always doing my hair. And that's a small resilience, but
right.
Like, it's great for image. We always looked combed and kept, and that's because you were resilient. Like, even I remember you being sick and being tired and your feet being hurt, and you would do our hair. We never walked out of the door without our hair looking bad. And if our hair looked bad, it's because we did something to it. Because we did something to it. But even just like for resilience, I felt like I saw with you. Like, you've had businesses, some have gone forward, some have failed, some have closed, and you keep doing stuff, you're just like, what I'm going to do now? A nonprofit. So I think that you have shown a lot of resiliency as well, and I think that our family has shown it's always okay to start a new chapter.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. I've seen multiple people do. I've seen Renee open and close many chapters. You are very resilient. I've seen my brother Joshua carve a path for himself in a space where they said you had to have certain degrees, you had to have certain licenses. I've just seen us show up in spaces. I don't think it's an accident if so many of us are entrepreneurs.
Right.
That is a sense of resilience, and I think that comes from the top. Our matriarch and patriarch showed us that not only can you move forward in life if you are resilient, many times you will get to where you want to go.
Right.
And if you don't, you get back up, you pray, you take a moment, you recover, and you start a new chapter. I think that I think that one of the biggest things I saw about resilience and the reshaping of it was a failure is not always an end. It's often a new beginning.
Right.
And we saw you guys, fail, or things happen that were not ideal or have low moments, but we never ever saw you stay there. And that is resilience, right? Like, so I think, I used to say to myself, like, my mom was doing all of this at the age of 30 with 7 kids. I can get up. I can go.
You can do something.
I can go to class. Like, I used to be in law school, like, my mom had 7 kids right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to class.
Yeah.
Like, you had 7 kids, you were running a business, you were running a church, you were like coaching people, you were like showing up, you were doing our hair, you were feeding it. And I'm like, yeah, at 27, she was doing that. I'm gonna go to class. My depression is gonna be okay. I'm gonna make it through. Resilience. So yeah, you guys are super resilient. And you always said it was because of God.
Yeah.
I think that was like the key. Like, people are like, how are you doing it?
Yeah,
I'm not.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I'm not.
For sure.
And that's what's part of the legacy as well, right? Like, we knew that, yes, you may have been doing a lot of those things on your own because you guys alone are just like very strong people. I don't know if your mind would have been right.
No, definitely would not have had that mind.
I don't know if your mind
Thriving would have probably not happened.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, God is that. He is the key.
And that's
the key
difference.
factor there for sure.
Yeah.
But then even that goes back to, we all have like our faith, but it goes back to a place where most people still have to choose to get up. You can be like, I can't believe God let this happen, and then you just stay wallowing in there. But you have to decide, like, you want to get up, you want to persevere, you want to, believe again. So faith definitely played 99.9% of that for us, 100%. For sure. I just don't think that I would have been as resilient without my faith. That's for sure. And I would never downplay that. Not one bit.
You never did?
Yeah, not one bit at all. So, yeah, that was definitely a place. And parents need to model resilience, and family have to walk through storms in different areas of life with resilience, because we're watching each other and you have to see how we handle it, and so that's very important. But then you all are resilient, and I get to see that as well, how resilient you all have been. And think sometimes when people think about resilience, they think that everything's out of your control. Sometimes you've made decisions that weren't your best decision, and you have to figure out, like, how do I get back up? How do I do what I need to do? And sometimes there are things out of your control that has happened, and you're just like, how do I do what I need to do and believe God and get back up and move forward and know that my future is going to be better than it is now, right? So I believe that's really good. I don't want to skip over you. Did you have any thoughts about anything?
Yeah, I think my thoughts are that you all taught us, because resilience to me can be boiled down to, in a very basic way, what you consider or what you normalize. And you all have taught us or normalized for us that things are not going to be inherently easy, but they're possible, especially through Christ.
Right.
And I think that with that mindset, it makes resilience feel more so like a way of life. And I just remember growing up, Dad being like, I used to be like, oh, we can't do that. And he'd be like, why not? Oh, well, because they said we can't do it. Well, let them say no to me in my face. You know what I mean? And so to me, hearing that as a kid, that's instantly normalized for me. Right. Where people tell me, well, that's never been done. Why not? Oh, they just said that you couldn't do it. Okay, I'm going to go up there. They could tell me. Not you could tell me. Not you heard about it. Like, you're going to have to tell me.
Exactly.
And that, to me, is just goes back to, again, this was normalized for me. This was normalized. That I don't have to take no for an answer, or believe that because it didn't happen for you, it can't happen for me.
Exactly.
And I think that understanding why Dad's mindset was so resilience based, and understanding he was going door to door to make sales, to provide for a family of 9, gives me a lot of understanding about what kind of man he is and why he raised us to be so resilient. Absolutely. I even think about the resilience of your faith when I was so sick being young, and you never spoke, oh, this is so sad. You were like, you're healed. And I would be gasping for air. Baby, we go to the hospital. You're healed. In Jesus' name, we're not going to come back here. We're not going back here. And Mom was just always so resilient in her faith. We'd be in the hospital and she'd be like, you're healed. And I'd be like, okay, girl, taking the oxygen, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I made you say it too.
I
said, say you're healed.
Yeah, and I would be like, yeah, and at that point, I'm just obeying, and I'm just, my mom said I'm healed. And the doctor's like, okay, we're going to take you to X-ray now. But, I think about that now because there were moments where if you didn't have that resilience in your faith, and you're like, man, this is like the first time we done had to go to the hospital with her. Let's just get her ready for how she can grow and get normalized in this. I would probably be on breathing support right now.
Absolutely.
So I just thank God that you understood that we can speak those things as though they are, even if they are not in this moment. And I think that does take a lot of resilience to not look at what is happening, but look at what Christ said is possible and what we have through him. So I find in both ways, both parents gave me different types of resilience and normalized different types of things for me.
For sure. That's good. And just like I was saying, like now that you all are older too, right? I can see your resilience, right? And things that you all are doing. But being married to Dad, and I know he probably would say things about me, but seeing certain things in the journey, knowing that you have to be resilient in your faith, to do those things. Yeah. And then you have to have this mindset where you're like, this it looks like a dead end for everyone else, but it's not a dead end for me, And so that's really, really good. Yeah. I'm thinking about the family blueprint, because every family has a blueprint. We have a DNA, we have a thing that like kind of flows with us. And in our family, we have core values, right? You all were talking about excellence and some other things before, but I know that there are core values. You can't live your life without having core values, and sometimes people are not sure what they are, but I always say what your core values are by the way you live and who you are every day through them. What would you say our family kind of stood for in like maybe one or two core values? Any core values?
You can go first.
The first one that came to me was trust God, not your circumstance. I feel like that was like beaten to us. Like Dad's faith about everything. And we're like, well, how is that possible? Because God's gonna do it. Then even with you, Mom, like again, back to like the healing and things that you believe for, you always told us don't make decisions based on what you can do or what you can afford. Make them based on what God can do. And I think that that's just a value of mine where I'm like, if God said that this is going to happen, no matter what my circumstance looks like, I'm going to trust God.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That core value for you?
That is a core value for me. I think another one is the entrepreneur mindset. And it doesn't, I think people think when they think entrepreneur mindset, you automatically are making a business.
Right.
But we've all worked for people at different stages. Yeah. And we bring that mindset into those workplaces. And then we quickly outgrow them because we get on their nerves. That's good. They're like, I ask you to come in here and be all innovative. Do your job. Yeah. But the entrepreneur mindset, it is like ingrained in us. I think even at a young age, we were trying to earn money by doing little jobs. And you'd be like, okay, if you do that, like if you do this and this, you can get this and this. And they weren't chores, because we had our chores. These were things outside of it that we had to do, whether it was like buying candy and trying to go over here, get a little money. Like you taught us the value of not only money, but how to earn it and how your hands can build and make whatever you put your mind to do.
I had forgot that.
I did not.
I forgot that there were all these jobs. You could take one and this is how much you get paid. I forgot.
Yes, the Summer of the Rock collection. That was a lot.
It's good.
But yeah, I mean, I think that you empowered us to always like you can make money, you can build whatever. Right. Just like with that impossible, like anything is possible. Who said no? So pairing those, you just get an entrepreneur mindset. Yeah. And you go into spaces and you quickly outgrow them. As most of us have. Right. Some of us intentionally, like me, was just in there getting on people's nerves, not realizing that it was just in my blood and it was part of my legacy. and I didn't understand how they could be so satisfied, and I'm so unsatisfied.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a huge thing in our family. The founder, I would say founder mindset, because everyone doesn't always want to do things for a profit, but we all have a founder's mindset, a building mindset of like, if we don't want to see it, if we don't see it, we will build it. We will build it.
Truth.
If we don't see it, we will build
That
it.
is the truth.
Yeah.
We will have no problem building it. And we
Let's
build
start it.
and we build many of things, and we build together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, the time
So
is
true.
gone so
The time
fast.
is gone.
This is
This
so
could be
good.
this could be a series.
Yeah, we
2
should
kids at a
definitely-
time.
Oh my goodness. So we've gone through resilience. We talked about what it looks like. We talked about some of the things that like shaped you, and now you're in adult life and all of these good things. Resilient families actually allow disagreement without disconnection, and most people don't know that. People think that when you disagree, we just disconnect, and you have to work through that. Resilient families actually admit mistakes, and we've had lots of opportunities to admit mistakes, including myself. We also normalize growth. Some of the things that Renee said earlier, like we normalize that as just part of the way. Oh, y'all don't think that way? Like we normalize certain things. And when you're in a resilient family, for those of you who don't know this, you distinguish identity from behavior, which is really, really different. So although you're behaving that way, I don't say that's your identity. I used to always say, you're a truth teller. You're this. We identify who you are based, because we all go through these moments in life where we're just not where we're supposed to be in our identity, but your behavior is not matching who you're supposed to be.
I don't know how you did that. Because I know sometimes you were like, well, you are acting like a liar. And you never caught us. You lie bad. You never did.
No,
and I don't know how you did it, because sometimes it was habitual sinning. And you were like, you are a truth teller.
Yep, you have integrity. You would want to be honest. You would be open. You would be a man of God and a woman of God.
Yeah.
No, it's just important because, again, your behavior is not your identity. But most of the time, people are told that their behavior is their identity.
Yeah.
It messes people up for a long, long time.
I can imagine. I mean, I'm grateful that you never even once slipped up and like,
No.
like you never called us out of our name ever.
No,
You just
not at all.
proclaimed things over us that at the time we were like,
All right. Here she goes. Here she goes.
I know. I still remember. I remember I went in the room one day and I was talking to Josh and I was like, "What's wrong with you?" He's like, "You keep saying these things about me and they're working." And I looked at him and I was like, "What do you mean?" You said I'm honest. You said I'm a man of integrity. And he didn't know that he comforted my heart that day, because you just saying stuff and then people still acting like the opposite. And you're like, they have lost their mind in here.
Yeah.
The devil has taken over. But that moment when he said that, I mean, he was so sincere. He was so emotional.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's working. And I was just like, it is. He's like, yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
And so that was just a comfort to me, because again, that's like habit, like consistently saying things, allowing my mind not to let my emotions say what I see in a behavior. Like it was work, but I believed in who you were as your identity and not your behavior being that. And God taught me that. He was like, don't ever call them what they behave as. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that, like, just set me free, because I'm pronouncing death over you every time I say that. And when I say the opposite, I'm pronounced life. Even if you still act like a dead person and crazy and off and unhealthy, it's still somewhere in your future, the words of life will come up. And that's what's really, really important. And so I just remember when I would hear people say things, I was like, no, don't say that to that 5-year-old, you know? Because that 5-year-old would become a 45-year-old who still hears those words. It's so important. For sure. For those of you listening, as we're wrapping up, we talked about legacy. We talked about so many different things. Is there anything you want to share, before we leave out Jessica or Renee, just to someone who's listening as a family, maybe they're a parent, maybe they're going to be a parent, godparent, whoever they are, just where you are on your journey as a family when you're building legacy, what that word could be, like resilient, being open, and seeing what you've taken away. Sometimes people have taken away things that they think they can't change, because it's a part of legacy too is not all what's good. Sometimes things are passed down habitually, because remember, it's by habit that a legacy is created, and we pass it down through a habit. So is there anything you would want to say to someone in their family, just as we getting ready to close out, about imperfection, resilience, or how, certain things shape you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try not to get emotional, but I think my thoughts are to mothers, to really answer the call that the minute and the sometimes thankless task that you're doing with your children are the ones that are going to echo in their hearts and their minds forever.
Wow.
And, I'm sure that there were days where my mom was at the end of her rope, and she still sent us to school and said, "You're a leader. You are above and not beneath." And when I think about my hard days, those are the words that I hear. And so my heart is to say to, and I'm on my period, so it's okay. But my heart is really to say to the moms that you have the gift, that God has given you the gift to rewrite the very mind of a child. When the Bible says to train up a child in the way they should go, you are literally training them on how to respond to the enemy's tactics, to lies, to being deceived. You are training them on how to respond to the world who will tell them who they are.
Right.
And you are the voice through Christ who is going to show them who they truly are. And to just never take that lightly, and to never let the enemy trick you out of the call that Christ has given you, because it is one of the most important things that you will ever do. As a mom now, I just am so grateful that my mom took the call seriously. And that is the only thing, if there's nothing else from this podcast, it is to sit with yourself and to thank God that you have been given this opportunity to change the very trajectory of your bloodline through answering one call, and that's through motherhood.
Yeah.
So that's for moms, and to my mom, just thank you for answering the call and still answering my calls because there's so much I know, even in the next 10 years, that I will realize you did for me when I was probably 10 years old, that I will now be able to do for my son. So I thank you.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
My message is, I would say, when you think about legacy, even if you don't have children, you're not a parent.
Right.
Or if you're a parent of older children, or you feel like you've missed those moments or you weren't perfect, legacy is something that is a moving target. It's not set in time. You can still build a legacy as time continues. Even if you are not a parent yourself, you can build legacy within your own family. You can build legacy within your own community and change trajectories and be a mother, an auntie, a TT, a mentor, a coach, community, like building programs, whatever it is, that's all part of legacy. You can change the trajectory of people's lives in their adulthood, their young adulthood, their youth. It's not attached, when you think about family is not always just blood. Family can be those who are brought to you, who are brought into your community, and that's a legacy. And what you give to them builds out. Maybe their family reaps the rewards of what you've done, and now their family now has a legacy of what you've taught them. And we know this is true when you see people talk about their teachers and they talk about their coaches. That's legacy. They change, they impact. So I would say expand your definition of a legacy. Expand your definition. It's never too late. There's always time. And if you spent years doing it wrong, you know what that means? You have a lot of lessons for those to know how to do it right.
So true.
It's never too late to stop and show others how to avoid that which maybe you wish you had known.
Absolutely.
Be resilient and sharing. Be open and vulnerable. That is legacy. That is emotional wealth. And I would also say that in this world that we live in, legacy is often tied to monetary wealth, and I'm going to build a trust in a property. But they say it all the time. When you are laying in your bed, when you are sick, when you are at your end of your life, you are not thinking about money.
Absolutely.
You are thinking about the people in your life, the ones that either you did forgive or did forgive. Even just forgiveness is a legacy, right? And so I would also say that think about, I can't give them everything, but you can give them everything.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean $1.
Right.
It means of yourself.
Absolutely.
And so that is what I would say. I think that don't limit legacy.
Yeah.
Legacy is leaving something, and everybody, because we're all so unique and have different perspectives and experiences, can leave something different.
Absolutely.
And sow something different and build something different for those around us. And that's what I would say about legacy.
So good.
Oh my goodness, so good,
That was
so
beautiful.
good. And that just, as we're closing out, that just brought me back to
So
even like the things again that we receive in our family that are like really healthy, really good, our faith, whatever. Like you were saying, we can touch another person with that, and that legacy continues because you invested in them.
Yeah.
This has been such a wonderful time. Thank y'all for being with me.
We love you.
Oh my goodness. Y'all give it up for my daughters, Jessie and Renee. Woohoo! Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what part spoke to you. What did you hear? What are you doing? How are you doing? Just want to hear all the good things. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this out, and come back for part 2 because it's going to be so good. And we have so much more that we want to share with you. Again, thank you for joining me. I am Sybil Bull, and I am excited that we are in this new season and all that God is doing with us. We're here to help you grow, live fully, and unlock the life that you are intended to live. Until next time, stay grounded, stay grateful, and keep reaching for that life that God has shown you. Remember, you are designed to live an optimum life. I'll see you next time.